Hi and welcome students. In this Microsoft Publisher 2016 tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to recolor and compress graphics. Let's get started. So you'll see that I have a publication here and it's blank right now, and I have some graphics that I'm going to use below it. If you've been following this playlist, you know that we've been creating a ticket stub for a drag race that's coming up. And so what we're going to do is first thing I want to create this image in the background up here and have it just be sort of a transparent look. But in its current state, it has lots of reds, blacks, yellows. It's going to be difficult to read if I have such a colorful graphic on such a large part of the screen. So first thing I'm going to do is make a copy of the graphic. The easiest way that I think to do this is to hold down Control and then just to click and drag on the graphic to bring it somewhere else, and then release the mouse, and you'll notice that the original graphic is still there as well as the copy. So I'm going to move this over to the bottom right, and I want this graphic to be kind of like a background for the ticket stub, and then actually have a copy of this one, a much smaller copy, on the front of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to need to recolor this, but first I need to resize it. So I'm going to grab the top right sizing handle and drag out and up, and I want it to take up about half the ticket. You see that my ticket is 8.5 inches wide, and so I'm going to drag this just a little bit beyond 4 inches, about right there. And so now that I have this graphic all set, what I want to do is recolor this so that it's just a different color. That way it doesn't clash with this one, which will be over it. And so that where we do that is it's the same in Word and in PowerPoint. So if you're familiar with those, it's going to be pretty similar in here. And so we go to Picture Tools, Format tab, and it's all within the Adjust group right here. And so the first thing I'm going to click on is Recolor, and this is how we recolor the picture. And this recolors the picture to give it a stylized effect, such as grayscale or a washed out effect. And so I'm going to be kind of looking for that washed out effect on this one. And just looking at it right here, this one looks good, and this recolor right here, if I click on it, you guys will see that gives it that nice washed out look on our kind of the background of our ticket stub. So it's going to look a lot better than just having a giant, very colorful graphic right there. Also, one thing that I'm going to want to do here is change maybe the brightness and contrast. And the way that we change brightness and contrast using Publisher is right here. It's still in the Adjust group. You click on Corrections, and then we can choose any of these. I'm going to just choose a lighter one because I really want this to blend in with the background. So I'm going to choose brightness 60%, contrast 70%. And I click that, and you'll see it just brightens it up a little bit. Again, this isn't going to be a major change by clicking on that, but it does help with making this a little bit more blend a little bit better into the background. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this down to the bottom right because I want to kind of create an effect of this tire just blending onto the actual ticket stub. So I'm going to put it about right there, and from here I'm actually going to actually I'll move it a little bit more. Maybe I'll put it right there. From here, I'm going to crop out a portion of it that is not actually on the page. So to crop in Publisher, we go to the Picture Tools Format tab and crop. And cropping is pretty good because cropping will remove any unwanted areas from the picture. So right above the crop arrow, I click on this icon, crop, and it brings up the cropping handles. And this is where I can drag the bottom crop handle up just a little bit, just before the page, and then the left crop handle in just a little bit, and there we go. And then we'll click on crop once more, and now you'll see that effect that I was looking for just a minute ago. And if I click away, you can see it kind of just blends on the page. It gives it a good look. And so now it's time to insert in the other pictures on the page, and so I want this one to kind of go over it just to maybe like right there. That looks good. Right there. Okay. But you see when I released it, it went to the back. So a lot of people think that their images might be deleted at this point, but that's actually not the case. It's just whenever Publisher puts one image and another image in the same spot, it's just as if they were pieces of paper. One goes on top of the other. So we have to arrange them in a different order, and that's in the Arrange group. Okay, you have to have your picture selected. You go to Picture Tools Format tab, Arrange group, and I can choose Bring Forward, and you'll see there we go. Now it's showing up in the front. Alright, so that looks good. I'm going to move this wrench up here now. And I'll put that right above it, maybe right here. That's a good spot. and I'll put the wrench on there, and once again we have the same problem, so we're going to need to bring that one forward. And so I click bring forward. Now you'll notice that basically any image that I put over this flame gets put behind it. So rather than clicking bring forward on everything, you could just click on that original flame image and then go, instead of send backward, if you hit this drop down arrow, you could put send to back, and it'll actually send it to the background of everything. That way anything you place over it will be put right on the front. And then over here we have some information, and I'm just going to put that right over here in the center. And there we go. So anytime we have a publication and it has a lot of graphics on it, one thing that we want to do is to make sure that the graphics are compressed. And the reason that we compress graphics is because when you start to get a lot of graphics on the publication, the physical size of the stored file increases. So the size of the file is going to get very large, especially if you have large, high quality images. Well, in Publisher, one of the things that's important is just noting that, you know, a lot of times this is just desktop publication or desktop printing. We don't need super high quality images. As long as they look good to your eye and they're not pixelated and choppy, then generally they're going to be okay. It's going to be more important that we have that smaller file size. And so the way that we do that is we go to the we select any picture. Okay, so I'll just select the picture of the wrench, and I go to Picture Tools Format tab, Adjust Group. There's a button right here that says Compress Pictures, and it says Compress Pictures in the document to reduce its size. And I'm going to click on Compress Pictures, and then you'll see that you get this option right down here for, instead of commercial printing, I know if I'm not going to print out a bunch of these at once, that I could just go with desktop printing right there. And so I'll click it to desktop printing, and then I'll click Compress. And it says compressing pictures may reduce the quality of your images. Do you want to apply picture optimization? I click yes. And if you look at the pictures, you're not really going to notice too much of a difference between any of them. So this is the beginning of our ticket stub right here. It basically is going to show you, or I'm eventually going to add some text to this. That'll be in a future video, and then these tickets will be ready to mail out. And so hopefully this video has taught you about recoloring in Publisher and kind of changing the overall look of our images. It taught you how to crop as well as how to compress your images to reduce your file size. So if this video has been helpful for you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. Have a great day.